Americans have weird sports, strange holidays, and dangerous women. And you need to know about such things if you are to survive in the USA. Hello, my name is Ivan Dreisel, and with me again a team of international experts. My namesake Ivan Gromny, also known as Ivan the Terrific, a former Soviet agent. Then Holger, a talking brown bear from Germany, a philosopher and a follower of Nietzsche and Kant. And again, Duane Elizondo, the world record holder in crossing Mexican-American border and the boss of a drug cartel. Last Thursday we covered 6 topics about America, but it turned out that such a big country cannot be dealt with in just one episode. So here come another 6 things you need to know about the USA. 1. Baseball.
Did you know that baseball bat was not invented as a tool to solve disagreements?
No! In America they use the bat for a sport named baseball, hence the name. Baseball is a ridiculous sport, but most of Americans like it very much, so you need to know the basics if you are to be accepted in the US. A baseball team has an unknown number of players, or at least I couldn't count them. The main focus of the game is on one weird situation. A guy standing on a little hill is throwing the ball very hard, trying to hit a masked guy in the corner. But in front of the masked guy, there is another one with a bat trying to protect him from being hit with the ball. I was totally confused when I was told that the guy on the mound and the masked one are teammates and the guy with the bat is an opponent. Imagine that! Instead of trying to hit the rival, you are aiming at your own man and the opponent is trying to protect him. Those guys are the only ones who do something for the most of the time. Other players are just standing around the field posing for the cameras, and there is some nice trimmed grass and they look like on a picnic, but they are not allowed to bring a blanket and the food. They can't even come closer to each other to chat. Once the batter hits the ball, they run to catch it, but there are many of them and just one ball, so majority of them ends up still doing nothing. From time to time, the guy with the bat hits the ball so hard it goes out of the stadium, and soon you can hear the alarm of the cars truck on the parking lot, and spectators seems to like that very much as they cheer loudly.
If they like balls flying randomly out of stadiums, why don't they make stadiums smaller so balls would fly out more often?
2. Football. Americans do play our football, but they call it soccer.
Probably because they suck in it.
Players are not allowed to use feet to hit the ball. And it is not a ball. It is an object that looks like an egg and you carry it around the field. There is only one player who is allowed to touch the egg with his feet, but it is so rare occasion that they stop the game for it and he enters ceremonially from the bench to do it. The sport should be called carry egg, not football.
It reminds me of rugby a bit. But rugby is played by real men, not by pussies wearing helmets for protection and shoulder pads to look bigger.
The main objective for a team is to achieve a touchdown.
When I first heard about it, I was thinking that touchdown is some slang for der Selbstbefriedigung. How they call it? Masturbation.
3. American holidays. There are holidays unique to America. They have the Thanksgiving Day. On that day, they celebrate the memory of Native Americans who saved them from starvation 400 years ago.
Native Americans also commemorate the day when the first European ships appeared on their shores. They call it Oh Shit Day.
Another unique holiday is the 4th of July, the birthday of Tom Cruise. On that day, Americans celebrate their independence gained from the British when Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith delivered a virus to British computers. Americans also celebrate Halloween. On that day, people dress up like monsters, so real vampires and zombies can freely go out shopping or to do other stuff they usually can't. I saw a zombie in the New York Metro the other day and nobody paid any attention to it. On that day, also children are encouraged to go and ring on strangers' doors. Then they get sweets and fruits, but many doors also get opened by middle-aged men in their bathrooms who show their genitals.
Many children never saw a penis before and they mistake it for some exotic sweets.
4. Black Friday. Not a holiday, but certainly a unique American feature. On that day, they honor heroic tradition by trying to mimic their grandfathers who were sitting in amphibious landing crafts waiting to be deployed in Normandy to run over the beaches looking for cover. Today, Modern Americans awake their fighting spirit in the morning, sitting in their vehicles, waiting to be deployed in a mall to run over the parking looking for less crowded entrances. On that day, they achieve many feats of heroism, jumping out of the still moving cars and climbing piles of fellow countrymen in attempt to reach the ultimate prize: iPhone WTF Plus with a camera able to capture mosquitoes' testicles. 5. Feminism. There is a political movement in America called feminism. Feminists believe that women are equal to men.
It is politically correct for men in America to act as if it was true.
Feminists demand that there should be more women in industries which are well paid and free of hard labor. However, they don't demand equality in coal mines and steel factories. Also, American feminists are not demanding the equality for all women. It's only American women who should be liberated from taking care of their children so they can have careers and earn money so they can pay Mexican women to take care of their children and clean their homes. If you ask feminists, would they be happy if all women in the world become directors, managers, and artists? They would probably say, but who will take care of the domestic chores? Not men, of course, because I never heard of feminists who want to marry an unemployed, poor, pathetic man who can stay home and clean the house. No, they all want successful men, so they combined earn enough to take their Mexican nanny to a vacation to Thailand so she can take care of their children while they enjoy the beach, being served by Indian and Chinese women who make swans from the towels for a 20-cent tip. If you have any contact with American women, there is another big problem. 6. Sexual harassment.
You cannot harass a woman who is armed and can drink more than you. Russian women don't need feminism when they can kill you with their bare hands.
Okay, Ivan, we are talking about America right now. So, sexual harassment is a situation in which a woman is approached by a man she is not interested in. For example, if a good-looking, rich man comes to a woman and say, "Hi baby, I want to take you to my hotel room and fuck you all night," she would giggle and call it a bold pickup attempt. But if an unattractive man comes to her and say, "Excuse me, miss, I hope it won't bother you if I introduce myself," that's sexual harassment. If a young attractive man holds the door for a colleague with one hand and her ass with another, that's a self-confident man. But if an older average chump holds the door and accidentally touches her upper back, that's sexual harassment. The only safe way to approach a woman is to know in advance that she is interested in you. But you cannot ask her, because if she's not interested, that would be harassment. But you cannot hesitate, because women don't like men who are indecisive and afraid to act. There is an internet research which says that #1 female fantasy is to be irresistibly taken by a stranger she finds attractive. If he's not attractive, then it's a rape.
I'm sure that 99% of American women fantasize that I take them to a van, which is by the way black 1989 Ford Transit, and have sex with them all night. But I cannot fulfill that fantasy because of that 1% who would send me to prison. Again.
If you missed the first 6 things to know about the USA, you can check them out here. And next Thursday we will talk about the Great Britain. If you don't want to miss it, this is the subscribe button you should hit. It will be jolly fun roasting those limeys.